Chapter 42. On the Purification. And after the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they carried him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. Luke chapter 2, verse 22. Mary, in obedience to the law of Moses, sacrifices even her own honor, since by the purification she appears in the same condition as that of other women. Thus the brightness of her virginity was obscured, of that virginity of which she was so jealous in the mystery of the Incarnation, of that virginity whose glory is to shine outwardly and not show the least stain. She consents to risk her reputation and her name, and of all the humiliations that one, I dare to say, was the most difficult to bear, to be pure as the sun before God, and to appear impure before the eyes of men. Such is, nevertheless, the sacrifice this most holy of virgins makes. Now this law of God, my brethren, does not compel us to do anything so humiliating. It wishes that we should appear as we are, that being essentially submissive to the supreme control of God, we should not blush at duties which his law requires and at services which we are bound to perform. Especially, being impure sinners, we should not be ashamed to perform practices of penance which are to cleanse, to reconcile us with God, and help us to pay off the debt of his divine justice. But what do? By a strange reversing, we wish to be sinners, and yet appear to be good. Mary gives up all desire of outside show, provided she is assured that the treasure of her virginity is preserved, and we, often even in the most trifling things, are but too anxious to keep up appearances. Consider the many virtues she practices in this mystery. She hides her glory, not wishing to appear what she is. She emblazons her humility by appearing what she is not. She is mother of God, and she appears only as the mother of a man. She comes to be purified in company with other mothers, although she is the purest of virgins. Dispensed from this humiliating law, she nevertheless carries it out to the very letter. However dear that adorable Son may be, she offers him up for us, even unto death, by presenting him to the Eternal Father as a propitiatory victim. It costs her much to hear the saddest and most heart-rending prediction made on him, and with what resignation did she not consent? O Lord, how conformed is the spirit of the mother with the spirit of the Son, and how both are different from ours. We wish to appear what we are not. Our pride cannot brook the idea of appearing as we are. Luxury, pomp, ambition, and vanity accompany us even to the foot of the altar. We are, however, charmed with the deep humility of the Blessed Virgin. Shall we never be but cold and indifferent admirers of the sublimest virtues? Does our love of purity inspire us with a great delicacy of conscience? What do we do to acquire and cherish so necessary and delicate a virtue? Only those who are clean of heart shall see God. Bourdaloue on the Purification. Mary had spent 12 years of her sinless life in the courts of the temple. It was there that she had outwardly dedicated her virginity to God, which she had vowed in the first moment of her immaculate conception. It was there she meditated over the ancient scriptures and learned the secrets of the Messiahs. She was coming back to it again, still virgin, yet, mystery of grace, a mother with a child. She came to be purified, she who was purer than the untrodden snow on Lebanon. She came to present her child to God, and do for the Creator what no creature but herself could do, give him a gift fully equal to himself. When the second temple was built, the ancients of the people lifted up their voices and wept because its glory was not equal to the glory of the first. But the first temple had never seen such a day as that which was now dawning on the temple of Herod. The glory of the Holy of Holies was but a symbol of the real glory which Mary was now bearing thitherward in her arms. But she had two offerings with her. She bore one, and Joseph the other. She bore her child, and he the pair of turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, for her purification. Many saw them pass, but there was nothing singular in them, nothing especially attractive to the eyes of the beholders. So it always is where God is, now that he is visible. He is, in truth, except to faith and love, just as invisible as he ever was. Mary made her offerings, and performed all things according to the law of the Lord. For the Spirit of Jesus was a spirit of obedience, and, although the brightness of angelic innocence was dull beside the whiteness of her purity, she obeyed the law of God in the ceremony of her purification, the more readily as it was a concealment of her graces. But she bore also in her arms her true turtle-dove, to do for him likewise according to the custom of the law. She placed him in the arms of the aged priest Simeon, as she has done since in vision to so many of the saints, and the full light broke on Simeon's soul. Weak with age, he threw his arms around his God. He bore the whole weight of the Creator, and yet stood upright. The sight of that infant face was nothing less than the glory of heaven. The Holy Ghost had kept his promise. Simeon had seen, nay, was at that moment handling, the Lord's Christ. O blessed priest, worn down with age, wearied with thy long years of waiting for the consolation of Israel, kept alive in days which were out of harmony with thy spirit, even as St. John the Evangelist was after thee. Surely he who made thee, he who is so soon to judge thee, he whom thou art folding so proudly in thine arms, must have sent the strength of his omnipotence into thy heart, else thou wouldst never have been able to stand the flood of strong gladness which at that moment broke in upon thy spirit. Father Faber, Foot of the Cross.